Hi, welcome to the Mommy Manual, the podcast designed to help you navigate motherhood because no manual's ever been written. I'm Jenna. I'm also a mom and your host. I'm a first-time mom, so I feel like I know absolutely nothing about motherhood except what I've learned along the way. This is both through trial and error and helpful friends, family, and those blessed strangers on Facebook groups. Today, I really wanted to chat about getting on a plane and traveling. We all like to do it, and I promise you it's not over once you have a baby, which is pretty much what I thought. It's surprisingly easy to bring a baby in tow, so long as you're prepared. I have done totally different trips in the past year with my little lady, and I really have picked up some lifesavers along the way. So that's what I'm hoping to fly through today. See what I did there? I'm so sorry. I promise I won't do puns all the time. And if this is your first time listening to the Mommy Manual, welcome. We're so glad you're here. I know I'm pretty biased, but my daughter's smile is pretty cute, and her laugh is infectious. So when I was standing in that airport waiting to board that plane for the all-inclusive vacation sent from heaven that my mom and I were going on, I was a little surprised that everyone was staring at me and looking at me as if I was about to ruin their whole vacation by bringing a baby on the plane. I was terrified. I was so nervous and so scared that everyone already hated me or my daughter before we got on the flight. I started sweating. I was so hot that I took off my coat that I had been wearing to the airport and I threw it out. Now, mind you, this was extremely wasteful and it should have been donated. It also had a couple holes in the pocket, but I was so stressed out that in my irrational thought process was, I don't need to bring this coat on the vacation. This is a big waste. I'm so hot. Oh my gosh. And I just threw out my coat in the middle of the airport. Well, my daughter slept the entire flight from the moment we got on the plane and took off till the moment we arrived. She was an absolute saint. Everyone was complimentary about how amazing my kid was, and then when we arrived back from our vacation, I was super cold waiting for our shuttle to get home. I really shouldn't have thrown out that coat. So let's start with where to go. Depending on who you're going with will greatly influence where you decide to go. Are you an adventurous person, or actually maybe how old is your child? Because all of those things make a huge difference. If you want to go somewhere and relax, and I say that term very loosely because you are traveling with a baby, go to an all-inclusive. They seem to have things for just about every age group. I loved having the pool right there, and the activities right there, and our room right there, and food right there. The best thing was when my daughter wanted to have a nap, my mom and I could sit out on the balcony and have a snack or have a drink and just chat it up while my daughter was having the best nap. And then we would just go back outside and go hit the pool or go to an activity or lounge underneath a nice umbrella and play with her. It was awesome. Now, my husband and I did a more adventurous trip with my daughter when she was 3.5 months old. We actually went up to a cottage. And I know that sounds super relaxing, but for us, it wasn't. We went hiking almost every day at various national parks. It was incredible because we could put our daughter in the baby carrier and we just modified our hiking route to ensure that we were safe. She was so light and so portable, I could just strap her on in the baby carrier and away we went. I would never be able to do that with her now because she's approaching 2 years old and she would be running literally all over the place and it would not be safe at all. Then, of course, there's the drive and sightsee type of trips. This was the most recent type of trip that my husband and I did. We flew to another part of our country, and then we did some sightseeing. We visited with some family, and it worked out well for the age that our daughter is now. We were able to drive, get out, and let her stretch her legs and run around and see some great sights. But we also were able to still fly with her for free, and she was really, really good on the plane. I have no complaints. The girl loves to color, and so she was living her best life coloring in a coloring book aboard the plane. It's kind of the best solution for your wallet to travel with them when they're tiny because they're cheap and they're portable. Okay, so you've decided to fly somewhere for your vacation, so let's talk flying. Yes, I might have been overly dramatic with my first flight there, the whole throwing the coat out and that, but I feel like I've mastered the flying baby thing by now. First thing that I recommend you do as soon as you book your tickets is call the airline. I promise you, you won't regret it. I did that when I flew with my mom, and I found out that they could bump me up to the bulkhead row, or the row right behind first class, for free. And they even had a bassinet that I could use for my daughter. As soon as we took off and that seatbelt sign went off, they brought me this bassinet, and she slept the entire time, and it was amazing. My hands were free. I got to use my tablet and enjoy my flight, watching movies and doing whatever I wanted while my daughter was having the greatest nap, it seemed. Also, I will say that the intoxicated men's golf trip group that was behind us was pretty envious of her comfy little bed by the time that we landed. So as soon as you have your seats sorted out, next comes what to pack for the flight. Make sure you pack a lot of snacks, both for you and your baby. If it's breast milk, lucky you, less for you to pack, but I went and I packed those Tetra Pak, purees. I brought a sippy cup and some other various little snacks that I could pack away, like little kid granola bars and little kid puffs and all kinds of things, just to have, so that I was never caught with her being hungry and I didn't have it, whether we were in line to board, on the plane, or in customs. Honestly, I think my diaper bag was half snacks and half diapers. Make sure you bring a couple changes of clothes, diapers, wipes, medications, swimsuits, and anything else you could need in case your luggage doesn't arrive on time. Also, bring a bunch of activities and toys. I ended up not needing them much on some flights and desperately needing toys and activities on others. And one of the best tips I can give you for toys is to pick up a small new toy for your child that they get when they get on the plane. What I got my daughter was this cheap little remote control toy, and she was obsessed with it. This was the lifesaver through customs, because she woke up as soon as we got off the plane, and then she kind of was eager to go. She was all full of energy, and so I gave her this new toy, and it just kept her calm and kept her intrigued and entertained while we went through customs and while we kind of found the shuttle bus to our resort. Okay, another pro tip: book your flight during their nap time if possible, because that way your child will be tired and they'll kind of still be on their schedule, and most likely they'll fall asleep on the plane. And also, I hate to be that mom, but I am a mom, so I feel like I can say it. Don't forget to pee before the flight. If your child falls asleep on you, you're gonna really wish you listened to Mama Jenna on this one, because it can be brutal. And those are just some of the best tips that I've picked up along the way. So enjoy your flight. Here's a bit of a story about a time I was on a flight and everything went wrong. I will start off with the fact that this was pre-kids for me. This was about 5 years ago. I was on a business trip and I was at the very back of the plane. I'm talking very back, farthest right, last seat on the plane, washroom behind me, nowhere to go, and I had a sea of children all around me. I think the oldest was 7 and the youngest was maybe 4 months, and there was 2 adults with them. So once the flight took off, 2 of the 5 children instantly lost it. They were crying and screaming with nothing able to comfort them, and the one mom was completely out of snacks, and the other mom was trying to breastfeed her child, so it was just kind of getting worse. But this toddler was so bored. Both parents were busy, older kids were busy, and this toddler had had enough. This is where I came in. I grabbed the barf bags out of the seat pockets, and I grabbed a pen out of my bag, and I just started making puppets. And so for the next hour, this toddler and I had a barf bag puppet party, and we were having a great time. The child actually ended up leaving with the barf bag puppets. I have no idea if this child still has them, if their mom threw them out, but just know that when all hell breaks loose, just grab some barf bags and a pen and start drawing. So hopefully you don't have to make barf bag puppets on your next flight with your child, but if we move on to resorts and hotels, I just wanted to give you some tips of things that I've learned that might help you out when you're planning your trip and things that you need to pack. So the first thing is obviously one of the most important is somewhere for your child to sleep, and make sure you either ask ahead about a crib, call the hotel or resort and see if you can reserve one, or bring your own. There's a lot of times that hotels cannot guarantee you a crib. So if you want to take it from me, get yourself the most compact, portable crib or playard or a pack and play that you can, and bring it yourself. If there's a pool, floaties, some kind of flotation device, swim diapers, hats, and sunscreen. A lot of times those pools do not have a lot of shade, so make sure you bring your child a really good covering hat. A first aid kit. I actually carry a full first aid kit in my diaper bag every day. I am mostly carrying it for me, but like to tell people it's for my daughter, but it's pretty much for me. I'm just so clumsy. A lot of destinations have a big problem with mosquitoes, so make sure you bring bug spray to protect you and your loved ones. Diapers. Oh my gosh, this is where I went totally wrong the first time I traveled with my daughter to a resort, because I packed her day's worth of diapers, or what I expected, and then extras, and then I brought swim diapers and completely forgot that she's going to be in the pool. So why did I pack so many of the regular diapers? It was ridiculous. I came home with so many diapers. Of course, bring lots of toys and activities for your child, just different things that they can do, especially at an all-inclusive. There'll be times when you're swimming, and there'll be times where you just want to lounge and relax on the balcony, or, on the patio somewhere. And so it's great to have a lot of toys and activities for them to do so that they're not bored and getting restless, and it'll just make things a little bit more enjoyable for everyone. If you want some more lifestyle parenting hacks and other tips and tricks to get you through your parenting journey, then make sure you check out our Ashtonbee YouTube channel, and there we have all kinds of videos featuring our products, little hacks for our products, as well as just a bunch of lifestyle videos. And if you want to connect with parents from all around the world and just kick back, relax, chat parenting, and also offer and receive advice on different topics, then make sure you join our private Facebook group called Ashtonbee The Hive. It's really been growing over the past few months, and the parents there are so supportive and have been so helpful with other parents' questions about things, whether it's teething, potty training, different techniques for feeding, and what to introduce as well. It's really a great group, and I really recommend that you join. Going away and soaking up the sun is incredible, and honestly, you know what? You deserve it. But there are a couple things that I want to pass on to you for you to remember while you're there. This is coming from my own experience, and as a mom who was super stressed out about her first trip with her daughter. I even was really stressed out about the second trip as well. Just worried that everything was going to go wrong, that my baby was going to scream on the plane, and that I was just not going to be able to get her to sleep when we were there, and that her schedule was going to get all messed up, and that it was just basically going to be a disaster. You know what? None of those things really happened. There was a couple hiccups, sure, but in the grand scheme of things, they were amazing trips, and I can't wait to go on the next one. Keep mindful of their nap time. Obviously, schedules are going to get a little wonky while you're there, but it's going to be a lot easier for you and for them if they're able to keep some sort of schedule, or they're able to have a nap. Now, my daughter, she will nap anywhere. I'm pretty lucky. She naps in a stroller. She can nap on my lap. She'll nap on a couch. Like, she's a gem in that regard. So there was a lot of times where we just kind of plopped ourselves underneath the lounge chair awning, and she was in the stroller and she fell asleep, and we just lounged back her stroller and we just relaxed, and she relaxed, and we all just got to be by the pool in the shade, and it was great. But try to be mindful of your child's schedule. Try and book your restaurants earlier in the day. Try to get that early time slot, especially if you're at a resort. It just will make sure that they're not running the risk of being tired in a restaurant and getting cranky, and you being stressed out because you can't enjoy your dinner because you're worried about your child screaming and crying and being overtired. So try your best to make those reservations early. Did I mention bug spray? Bug spray, bug spray, bug spray. Mosquitoes suck. Mosquito bites are itchy. And also you can sometimes get sicknesses from them, so just make sure you really, really take care of the bugs. Just all the bug spray. And please never underestimate how curious and excited they will be about the little things. Like I said, my daughter was 10 months old when we went, and she was absolutely obsessed with the resort flowers. So all the flowers that were blooming on the resort, she just wanted to smell all of them. And she also had never experienced sand yet, so we wiggled our toes in the sand multiple times a day, and she just found it so fascinating. She would pick it up and let it fall through her fingers and wiggled her little toes in it, and it was absolutely adorable. And it was one of the most beautiful moments I had on our trip, because just watching her experience sand for the first time was just absolutely incredible. So make sure you soak in all those moments with your little one. But most importantly, play, laugh, and have the best time. Their brains truly are sponges, and they are going to soak up as much as possible. So build those amazing memories and make sure you take a ton of photos. And that's today's podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to give it a listen. Today I was going off of my own experience, my own stories, and my own tips and tricks, but in the future, some of our podcasts will definitely be having experts weighing in and discussing topics with me. Topics like potty training, diapering, breastfeeding, and so many more. Please leave a comment below with any other tips you've picked up along the way that has helped you travel with your little kiddos, or what is your biggest fear in traveling with your little ones? Thanks so much for checking out this episode. Until next time, you are listening to the Mommy Manual. Bye!